offering my advice because I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be social media, Instagram this. I don't know what it's like to be bombarded and have to be the breadwinner in the family and be a brand and be worried about what I do or say and everything else, or 24/7 being pulled in so many different directions and not knowing. I mean, throw in the fact that if I'm insecure, if I've got my own mental issues going on, who do I talk to? I don't regret being born when I was.
Right.
I'm in the right place at the right time. It's just been fascinating to watch these young ladies come up and now take the baton and take it to a different level.
And you know, she delivered this message with such an incredible, graceful power. Just a moment ago, the entire landscape of basketball shifted because the one and only Cheryl Miller, yes, the Cheryl Miller finally summoned the courage to say what millions upon millions of fans were thinking, what they were feeling in their gut, but were too afraid to say out loud. She declared that Team USA never truly wanted Caitlin Clark on their roster, and the second those words left her lips, the entire basketball world absolutely detonated. Now, before we get into the heart of this, do me a favor and smash that like button, because this story is about to shake you to your core. If you are a fan of real, authentic basketball, and you are sick and tired of the politics poisoning the sports we love, subscribe to this channel right now, because the expose we're unpacking today is without a doubt the biggest one of the year. Cheryl Miller didn't just whisper it, she didn't hint at it, and she certainly didn't try to sugarcoat the truth. She went on the record, lived for the world to see, and laid out precisely why Caitlin Clark is continuously being ignored, benched without reason, shown blatant disrespect, shoved to the floor, and relentlessly targeted and treated like an outsider who simply never belonged. Her voice was completely steady, razor sharp, and absolutely unshakable as she said, and I quote, "Caitlin Clark changed basketball, and that is exactly why they fear her." In an instant, the internet went into a complete and total meltdown. From the very first day she stepped onto a professional court, Caitlin Clark delivered television ratings that every sports league on the planet can only dream of. She single-handedly brought millions of fans flooding back to women's basketball.
Personally speaking, I feel like she ought to be able to wear her 22. But nonetheless, it looks like she's making a big change, folks. There's a case to be made that Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark's 22 is the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. I don't think there's even I don't think it's arguable at all. I just think when you think of far and away women's sports,
we're talking about families, young kids, and people who had never ever watched a single WNBA game in their entire lives.
And what did she get in return for this monumental contribution?
A barrage of hard fouls that border on assault, absolutely zero protection from the officials,
Suspiciously timed benchings,
a constant stream of accidental elbows and unintentional shoves, and a mountain of excuses, just endless, pathetic excuses. Cheryl Miller finally spoke the words that nobody with a position of power inside Team USA or the WNBA dared to admit publicly. They don't want her there because her star power completely overshadows everyone else. But let's be clear, this wasn't just some casual opinion. Cheryl meticulously laid out a pattern of behavior she has personally witnessed for years. Every single time a brilliant young superstar emerges and threatens the established hierarchy, every time an individual becomes bigger than the system itself, that system pushes back with all its might. And in the case of Caitlin Clark, she didn't just get big. At only 22 years old, she became the face of global basketball. And that, according to Cheryl Miller's powerful testimony, is precisely why the higher-ups, the old guard inside Team USA, never had any intention of making her the centerpiece of the team. Cheryl just went ahead and said the quiet part out loud for the whole world to hear. Team USA is tangled up in the very same toxic politics we see plaguing the WNBA: rampant favoritism, exclusive power circles, an unshakable loyalty to veterans over talent, and absolutely no room for a new star who wasn't built from the ground up by their own system. Caitlin wasn't developed by them. She didn't rise through their preferred structure. She refused to follow their script. She came from Iowa. She brought her own legion of fans. She brought her own massive spotlight. And that deeply threatened a lot of powerful people. Cheryl stated unequivocally that Team USA had already made up their mind months before any roster discussions even began. The plan was brutally simple: protect the veterans at all costs, keep the old guard as the public face of the team, and never ever let a rookie get the keys to the kingdom. Caitlin Clark was never going to be welcomed with open arms. The plan was to manage her, to control her, to soften her image, and to keep her quiet.
Handled. Ultimately, it didn't matter because Clark was out, of course, with the groin injury. Let's just scroll down here because Sonia Cintron also was on the All-Star team. She wore 22. But the same can't be said for Team USA basketball, as players aren't allowed to share the same jersey number when suiting up for the national team. In fact, players are forced to wear a completely different number than what they're accustomed to on their professional teams. Caitlin Clark is going to wear number 17 at Team USA training camp. I'm going to tell you this.
But Caitlin Clark simply didn't play by those unwritten backroom rules. She played the electrifying brand of basketball that the entire world fell in love with. And that's when Cheryl exposed the biggest bombshell of all. They were terrified that she would become the undisputed star of Team USA before the Olympics even had a chance to start. Just let that sink in for a moment. Imagine that, an organization being afraid that a 22-year-old rookie would outdraw 10-year veterans in ratings, that a single player would generate more media buzz and excitement than the entire rest of the roster combined. More highlights, more social media views, more passionate discussion. Team USA simply wasn't prepared for that kind of paradigm shift. The system that props it up certainly wasn't. So instead of celebrating this generational talent, they pushed back hard. And the fans? Well, the fans saw absolutely everything. We all saw the cold body language, the bizarre player rotations that made no sense, the unnecessarily hard fouls that were clearly meant to intimidate, the so-called accidents that never ever got called by the refs, and the constant biting criticism for the very same things other players were being praised for. Cheryl Miller put it perfectly when she said, "You don't treat the most impactful young player in the history of basketball like this unless you're deliberately trying to send a message." And what was that message? Stay in your lane, know your place, don't you dare climb the ladder too fast. But Caitlin just kept climbing. Every single game, every logo 3, every insane no-look pass, every single sold-out arena, every viral highlight that broke the internet, and with each time she rose higher, so did the jealousy and the hate. Cheryl revealed the ugly truth that everyone knew but no one would say. Caitlin Clark is being punished for being great.
Off season, with the front office we don't trust, we don't believe in, we can't believe anything they say, and we don't know what's really going to happen with Caitlin Clark's health. This sucks, man. This sucks. I feel bad for Caitlin because I know she wanted to be out there for the fans, to put on a show. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Man, just even the photos she posted, it's like, man, we was ready. We were.
Millions of fans felt this deep in their bones. Parents watching with their kids felt it. The kids themselves felt it. Even NBA superstars felt it. And they tweeted about it, calling out the injustice. But not one single person from the inside, from within that system, ever had the courage to speak the truth, until the legendary Cheryl Miller stepped up. Then came the second bomb she dropped. The whole drama surrounding the jersey number change. Cheryl said Team USA handled it in the worst possible way. Instead of having a private, respectful discussion, instead of doing something to make Caitlin feel valued and welcomed, they turned it into a public spectacle that made her look like she was the problem for wanting something every elite athlete desires: consistency and respect. Cheryl said, they made her feel like an inconvenience. And that was the moment fans across the world finally snapped. Millions of them, and the third bomb. Cheryl revealed that Team USA was completely divided internally over Clark. Some of the coaches desperately wanted her on the team, recognizing her game-changing talent. Some did not. Some players quietly supported her, while others were terrified she would take their spotlight. Some of the executives absolutely loved the record-breaking ratings she brought in. Others hated the intense attention she commanded. It was a divided room, with a rising superstar and a massive, inescapable spotlight. This was never really about basketball. This was about politics, ego, and power. You could hear Cheryl's voice crack with emotion when she said it. Caitlin Clark plays the game the right way, and she is being punished for it.
And as far as I was concerned, I was just glad to know eventually I wasn't the only girl playing basketball and balling, and playing at a high level. But it's been a blessing just to watch the women grow and watch the women find their voices, use their platforms, and finally get paid.
Right.
That's been, if anything, the flowers for me is to see their achievement.
That one line hit the entire nation like a tidal wave, because it crystallized everything everyone had been witnessing. This wasn't just about Team USA. No, this was about the entire season. It was about the endless stream of brutal hard fouls, the blatant shoves when the refs weren't looking, the clear and obvious targeting from jealous opponents, the staggering disrespect, the deafening silence from the league office, the petty jealousy, the fake narratives spun in the media, and the constant overwhelming noise designed to break her spirit.